Breaking, Tucker Carlson is expected to land on a private jet at Ben Gurion Airport tomorrow to interview U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee. According to Libby Allen, he is reportedly not leaving the airport and will return to Europe immediately after. What a pussy. Oh, Cruntis, she is so dumb. She never stops being stupid, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Tal the Traveling Cloud. Your sweet Zionist prince in Israel was promised to me 3,000 years ago. It can be promised to you as well by getting that merchandise down below in the description at thetravelingclat.com. We've got our first post here from Cinema Shogun. Debunked. Candace Owens and her minions stoop to a new low. Candace's top generals are desperate to make Erica Kirk look like a child groomer. They are now editing pictures of Erica with her family to make it appear as if she's creeping on underage girls. You see what's happening, right? Candace tried to make the world think that Erica murdered her husband, but that failed. So now what's the next move? I'll tell everyone she's a sex trafficker. Satan looks at Candace and smiles. Candace, weren't just one isolated incident that landed approximate to children being trafficked. I might dismiss it as an unfortunate coincidence, but here's what we are at with Erica Kirk. Turning Point USA, at the insistence of Tyler Boyer, who introduced Erica to Charlie and knew her for years prior, opens their headquarters directly across from Arizona Mills, one of the highest placed for child sex trafficking in the state. A mere weeks later, Charlie and Erica have their first date. Erica is for some reason unable to recall how she met or knew Tyler. Erica Kirk ran Romanian Angels to work with the Romanian orphans. She partnered with the U.S. Marines and worked with Colonel Otto Buscher. Colonel Otto Buscher is subsequently accused of trafficking and prostituting underage Romanian orphans. Erica recently launched her Make Heaven Crowded tour with Pastor Greg Laurie of Harvest Christian Fellowship. She did this despite the fact that the church is currently facing 12 lawsuits from 2025 with accusations that they are trafficked and abused minors from a Romanian orphanage. So, okay, here's where we're at with Candace. It was Israel. Then it was France who killed Charlie. Then it was TPUSA who killed Charlie. Then she had a meeting with TPUSA and Erica Kirk, and it wasn't them anymore. And then it was France trying to kill her. Then it was Israel trying to kill her. And now it's, once again, Erica killed Charlie, and she's also a sex trafficker. Which, what does that mean? A child sex trafficker? What does that mean for Charlie's involvement? Do you think, you cunt of a bitch, do you think that Charlie knew she was a child sex trafficker? Do you think she knew that? I think, in my opinion, maybe the lawsuit might actually hurt her, and she's realizing that now. And she's in a position where she is going scorched earth. She's trying to make whatever attention she can to gain money before this ship goes topsy-turvy. My personal, humble opinion. Even a former mob boss knows what Candace is doing is wrong. Really speaks volume in the cowardice. Let's take a look.
Hands the whole bit. Other than that, I don't know her personally. I do know some people that know her, but I don't know her personally. So I'm coming from a very unbiased place. I'm just looking at the facts and then drawing some conclusions from those facts. So you can get upset with me, whatever. I understand that. And I know I'm going to get some blowback from what I have to say today. But if possible, let's try to take a very unbiased look at one thing. And that is Candace Owens' motivation for doing this. Motivation. Now, whenever I say something about this and I question her motivation, it's like, well, that was her best friend. And why wouldn't she be doing this? Why wouldn't she want to uncover Charlie Kirk's murderer? I agree with that. If, in fact, she was his best friend and they were that close, I get it. I really do. But let's go back and look at this thing and let's see really how close of a friendship they really had in the last several years. Let's look at that. Go back to 2017 when she was with Turning Point USA with Charlie Kirk. That lasted 2 years. In 2019, under certain circumstances, she left. I'm not saying she was fired. I'm not saying she quit. She left. Mutual agreement, whatever. Now, why did she leave? Well, she left because she made some remarks about Hitler. And basically what she said was Hitler would have been okay and done the right thing if he would have stayed only with Germany and didn't try to conquer the world. Now, that pissed a lot of people off in TPUSA. That's kind of racist. Now, even you liberals have to agree with that. Why? Well, I know you don't like Hitler because you compare Trump to Hitler all the time, and we know you hate Trump. So if you're comparing Trump to Hitler, Hitler's got to be bad. No question about that. Okay, so she made some remarks about Hitler that just didn't sit right with a lot of people, and it started to grow from there. She leaves TPUSA. She wasn't happy with TPUSA at that point, and she hasn't been happy with TPUSA ever since. Okay, so now she is making accusations that Charlie has been betrayed by TPUSA. Okay, she can make that accusation, and let's see how it's backed up. We're going to get into that. But here we go. She claims that Charlie was her best friend, great friends, and she's doing this because of the friendship. Well, let's look at that. You know, when I have a friend, I'm married 40 years. When I have a friend, if it was a female friend, which I don't really have any, but if it was a female friend that my wife was unaware of, or that my wife didn't know that well, the first thing I would do is bring her to the house. She has a husband, let's all get together. Now, you people out there that are married, tell me if I'm wrong or not. When you have a friend of an opposite sex, nobody's saying that that's wrong, but if they were such great friends.
Exactly. Everyone, even a former mob boss, can tell that what she's doing is immoral and wrong. You know, and nobody has to be, by the way, in part of their relationship. Nobody has to be inside of their relationship to tell that what she's doing is fucked up. We don't have to know their backstory. We don't need to know how close to friends they are. You just don't do this stuff. You don't do these kinds of things. You can run an investigation all day, every day in the secrecy behind the scenes. That's fine. You can run an investigation if you're genuinely curious about what happened to your friend and you don't believe the media narrative. That's fine. There's no problem there. But you don't do this on the public stage. You don't do this to try to destroy his former company and his wife and his family. Well, he would not want you to be doing this. Candace Owens is sending her fans on a literal witch hunt to find the witches who put a curse on Charlie before he was killed. What in the actual fuck?
Okay, guys, so there is something that has been living in my head rent-free that I feel like I need to open up to the internet about. I feel like TikTokers can help me with this a little bit. Somebody told me that when you're doing an investigation, it's really good to go back to the beginning and you'll start to recognize things and see things in a new light that don't really make sense. And so I did that with this Charlie Kirk investigation. In the craziness of the aftermath of Charlie's assassination, we were told that there were witches who had put a spell on Charlie Kirk, and they had been contacted by a journalist, and then those witches put a spell on him. The journalist published the article on the 8th. Charlie somehow saw it very quickly on the 9th. A priest came over to pray over him, and by the 10th, he was dead. You remember this. So I decided to revisit that and was kind of shocked to learn that that journalist was brand spanking new. Like, she had started writing for the first time in May of that year, and just a couple of months later, she decides to head to Etsy, and of all people to cast a spell on and to try a witch's spell, she chooses Charlie Kirk. I don't know, all that just felt a little bit random to me. And then I dug a little deeper into the witches themselves, okay? Turns out the witch's Etsy page was also new because in the immediate aftermath, Charlie dies on the 10th, Etsy moved to suspend their witch's account, but I went onto Wayback Machine, and yeah, they had been on Etsy for just under a month, and suddenly someone bought a spell from them, and Charlie Kirk was dead. Take a look at their Etsy page that I dug up, because it's going to get a little bit weirder.
Oh my God. This bitch is fucking crazy.
These Strix sisters did not even have a website, by the way. Like, I'm talking brand new, nobody knew who they were, and they filed for their website, purchased the domain name on September 12th. This is before Etsy suspended their account. They get their website up and going, and it's ready on the 15th. Take a look. And you can do this yourself on Wayback, and you can see that when I say they built this website quickly, like, you could buy stuff and buy spells and curses on their website. So suddenly they're like very internet savvy and no one knows who these girls are. But apparently they also had access to the press because they published an article on September 26th in the Daily Mail. We are the witches. I am the witch that cursed Charlie Kirk. Who did they reach out to? How did the journalists know that this was not a hoax? Did they use their real names? I'll show you this article. We are told in the article that a priestess Lilyn is the one who cursed Charlie. Again, there are no names used for these individuals anywhere, so I'm just curious how the Daily Mail writer, Nick Allen, and also there was a writer for the Mirror UK, felt confident that they were actually speaking to the individuals who allegedly cursed Charlie Kirk. Did they give them their real names? Can somebody on the internet find their real names? Because I don't know, I'm just thinking that this is another individual that I'd probably like to speak to understand how all of this came together. It just seems very, very strange to me. Am I technically asking the internet to go on a witch hunt? Yeah, I want the names of these priestesses, their real names. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair ask. I have a feeling this might be another piece of the puzzle. Who put the quote-unquote spell on Charlie Kirk that he was so concerned about the night before, which I call BS on. There were a lot of crazy people who wrote articles about us. Charlie losing sleep over a priestess who didn't exist a month ago seems a little extra to me. Anyways, if you find anything, email us at moretips@CandaceOwens.com. Thanks.
So now it's a witch curse? That's where we're at now? A witch cursed him? That's where we're at? Erica Kirk is allegedly a child sex trafficker, according to Candace Owens, and also a witch is responsible for placing a curse on Charlie getting killed. Are you kidding? Who is following this garbage?
She can connect any two events in history with yarn, thumb.
Yeah, I don't know about the yarns and thumbtacks part. I think she's using any yarn or thumbtacks. I think she's just using pure autistic juice in her brain. Breaking, Tucker Carlson is expected to land on a private jet at Ben Gurion Airport tomorrow to interview U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee. According to Libby Allen, he is reportedly not leaving the airport and will return to Europe immediately after. What a pussy. What a fucking puss. I look at my team just threw that in there. Candace Owens says that most people who lie for a living block the people that expose them. I wonder why Candace Owens blocked me. I can't read that because she blocked me. Most people that lie for a living block people that expose them. And she blocked Cinema Shogun, who's been exposing her over and over and over and over and over again. No wonder she thinks everyone's fake and gay. When you realize her husband proposed before he even asked her on a date, before he even had a meal with her, a kiss, a romantic evening, anything, no history of former girlfriends for him. Her body shape, he fades into a background. She wears pants. Literally, it tracks. She's a lesbian. She's a lesb. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Candace Owens is a lesbo. She's a lesbo. I don't know. It seems clear at this point. Her husband may even be a female. I'm in a mood today. I think I'll just go down a list of videos and make fun of Candace and her husband. It's Monday. Why not? So her husband says it was a group dinner, and Candace says it was one in her honor. Twice, no, Candace, it was a group dinner. The way she said my honor made my screen crawl. Let's take a look.
Told me that he had actually organized an entire dinner for me and for Charlie Kirk with about 30 people. So I had no idea that there was a dinner being thrown in my honor in which he kind of pawned it off to me to organize the dinner. So I arrived 3 hours late. My assistant informs me that there are a bunch of people waiting for me. I get out of Russell Brand's house, and I was very apologetic when I arrived 3 hours late because I like to be punctual. And I sat next to you. He basically said nothing to me.
Correct. I did what I've done for the past 6 years.
Told me that he had actually...
Is anybody else not like extremely uncomfortable with everything that comes out of these two retards?
And then the next night I organized this dinner for a whole group of people. So it was her and Charlie as well, and they actually turned up 3 hours late because they were doing a podcast in the country. And then the next night...
Why is this story of the two of them getting together like the most uncomfortable thing in the world to watch? Why is it so uncomfortable to see and hear about? Something about it gives me a little bit of Epstein vibes. If I'm being serious, I get a little Epstein vibe, a little Epsteinism. Let's take a look at this. This is Ryan A. Fournier said the exact same thing.
It's a good idea to get a dishonorable discharge.
No, Candace Owens and I will be very upfront about this, and this is the first time I've actually spoken on it, so this is probably going to be recorded and put in a Daily Beast article tomorrow.
Oh,
But
you know it, Ryan.
I was with Charlie Kirk when Candace Owens and I met Candace Owens at the Trump International Hotel first time that he met her as well. She had a YouTube channel. She was doing decent views. She was in the accounting field. And so Charlie brought Candace on Turning Point USA. We made her a comms director. And
I said it was Ben Shapiro. It was Charlie that started that brought her on.
yes, yes. And so Charlie brought her on, and I was around at the time. She pissed off a lot of people on the board of directors, especially Bill Montgomery, who was the one who started Turning Point basically with his donation. Charlie met him, I think, at the RNC back in, wasn't 2016, it was the cycle before. But he met him there. Bill Montgomery was basically the head of the board. And unfortunately, Bill passed from COVID in 2020. And nobody on the board of directors like Candace Owens. She was forced out of Turning Point USA because she is a cunt. She is an now let me just say this, and I want this on the record.
She's a cunt.
She is a disgusting fucking human being. She has no personality whatsoever. She is a nasty character. And I have nothing but disregard for her because everybody who gave her something, she took it away. She stepped on our backs to gain fame. She is a lying, phony bitch, and I want nothing to do with her. And I don't want anybody in this movement to associate with her because I can't stand her.
Well,
And I will tell her to her face on a live interview if I have to. Fuck you.
Well, I like
You
that.
entitled cunt.
Well, I like that. And just so you know, Ryan, I have given her a new name after her recent comments. She is not Candace anymore. It's Candy. We're just calling her Candy from now on. She's a two-bit.
Well,
She's a
her
two-bit.
and her little husband took over Parlor, and they're so fucking retarded, fucked Parlor over that they didn't even know how to do coding to get rid of metadata on photos, which is why everybody was persecuted who posted photos on Parlor because the FBI took the metadata after they had a subpoena of every photo taken on every location there that was posted to that app. So you can thank Candace Owens and her little cunt fucking London husband.
Wow.
Fuck them.
Well,
Was that intentional?
And that's not even mentioning their relationship with Andrew Tate.
well, let's go back into the idea here.
Well,
So
please
that
let's
means
not
that
go into Andrew Tate.
I couldn't agree more. The only thing I don't agree with is I'm giving her the nickname Candy. That's not spicy enough. Call her Cuntis. Guys, I already gave you the name. I've been giving you nicknames Cuntis, Croutons, Owens. It's all great. Don't call her Candy. Candy's a weak nickname. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys in the next one. Fuck Candace Owens. Goodbye.